Today I am coming to you barefaced and bright-eyed. It is about 9 o'clock. I am getting ready for work this morning, so I figured we'd try something new and bring you along with me so you can get ready with me. So, we are sitting at my vanity. This is where I get ready most mornings. We're in the master bedroom. As you can see, our bed behind us. Thankfully, Johnny made it so it wouldn't look terrible in the video. Doesn't happen every day. So yeah, I am gonna show you all the products that I use. I mostly do my makeup the same every day. I might slightly change it if I have a special occasion or if we happen to have nighttime plans, which doesn't happen very often. Maybe I'll change up my eye makeup or something, add some lipstick, but I am a drugstore makeup girly. So I know I alluded to this video in a previous vlog that we did, so I figured it was time to take you along for the ride. So I have just showered, so I have a clean face. I brushed my hair and put in a little bit of dry shampoo so to let it marinate while I do my makeup. So I'm going to clip it up out of the way with these guys. I think these are supposed to not leave dents in your hair, but it doesn't always happen that way. Starting with the e.l.f. primer. I love this stuff, Power Grip Primer. It is sticky and helps your makeup last all day long. So I put this on everywhere, including my neck. And then I'm going to let it dry for a second. They used to only have a small portion of this. The bottle's like this big. And I saw this last time I went to Walmart and I had to get it. It's huge. It's like at least 3 times the size as the last one. But yeah, I've been using this for probably a few years. So that's the primer that I use. I don't know about anyone else, but I know there's always a debate on what order you get ready in. I am a makeup, hair, get dressed girl. Always have been. There may be a slight exception to that rule if I'm doing something with my hair that it's going to get messed up when I put my shirt or my dress on. But for the most part, makeup, hair, get dressed. I think that's the right way to do it. I wonder what everyone else here does. But that has always been what I've done, and I don't know how people get dressed first, because I don't know if you can see, but I always end up getting makeup on myself, powder, something spills, I don't know, who knows. So I don't know how people get dressed first, but next we are going to do a CoverGirl concealer. This is shade 705 Fair. I'm a fair girl. I am pretty pale, unless I spray tan or fake tan. So most of my makeup is going to be a pretty light shade. I always put this in the corners of my eyes. I've got some redness in my face and my cheeks. I don't know if it's just from scarring or acne or what, but so I usually do a little bit there. And give myself a little bit of a base coat. I am a sponge girl when it comes to my liquid makeup, not a brush. I've tried brushes in the past, but I don't love the way that it applies to my face. So I have a small makeup sponge that I use for concealer, and then I'll use a larger makeup sponge for my foundation. This may be controversial, but I use my sponges dry. I do not wet them. I feel like when I wet them, it takes off some of the product as I'm trying to apply it. So I just use them dry. I get them from Walmart or Amazon. Sometimes you can get like a multi-pack that has different sizes all together. This is the last pack that I bought, mini sponge 5-pack from Walmart. Probably only a couple of dollars for that. So next I'm going to do my foundation. I've used a few different foundations over the years. This is Maybelline Fit Matte Poreless Foundation. This is shade 112, which is Natural Ivory. Also a very pale color. My husband likes to tell me how pale I am. Oops. He married a white girl. Sorry. I'm pale. So yeah, let's use my larger makeup sponge to apply this. I'm running out of this foundation, but thankfully I have a backup, so I just apply it all over the face. I would say this is probably medium coverage, not super full coverage. I think it's somewhat buildable, but I usually just do one layer all over the face. If you can hear, I have some roommates in the background. Dad just got Layla dressed for the day and is attempting to give medicine, which is always iffy. Sometimes she takes it fine, other days not so much. Some people do not apply this around their eyes. I do. I just like to have an even color all over. I am no expert, however. This is just how I've done my makeup most of my life. Started out learning from my mom. Shout out to Candy. Watching her do her makeup as a little girl, and then her showing me how to do it when I got old enough. I think she probably started letting me wear makeup around middle school, I think. I didn't wear it every day, just here and there, and it wasn't, you know, a ton of makeup, just a little bit, probably cover up and mascara, but just have changed a little bit probably over the years from watching other people do it online or watching tutorials on social media. So it's probably mostly similar to what I've done my whole life. I'm not opposed to trying new things, so don't come at me in the comments because I'm no expert. Don't forget to bring it down your neck. Don't want to have a line on your chin. So that is pretty much what I do for foundation. If you wanted to, I think you could go over and do more if you wanted to build it up a little heavier. But that's how much I do. Alright, next is going to be a liquid bronzer slash contour. This is an e.l.f. bronzer and contour camo liquid. This is also fair slash light shade, and I am just going to wipe some of the excess product off and put some on the cheekbones, a little on the nose, a little on the forehead. Sometimes I'll do a little bit on the jawline, maybe under my lip. Kind of depends on the day how heavily I use this. Now I do use a brush for this. This is just, it's the brand Beaky. I think I ordered these on Amazon in a set. It's just kind of a round fluffy brush. Oops, got fuzz stuck on my nails. And I just take this and lightly dot until I get it pretty spread out. I also use the same brush for my liquid blush, so you will see that step in a second here. I wouldn't exactly call this contouring. I'm not super defined with this, so I guess it's more of just like a bronzer. I don't know the technical terms for everything, but this is about midway through my liquid steps. I do all of my liquid makeup first, pile these all on before I move on to any powder products. Make sure you get everything nice and blended. Might look a little scary right now, might not look like it matches my skin tone very much, but usually it looks better once I get all my product on all my powders. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Also, I'm a righty and I cannot do anything with my left hand, so sorry, I'm going to be covering my face at some points. I literally cannot do a single thing with my left hand. Alright, next is an e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Also in a light shade. This is Light Ivory is the color. I like this concealer. I've been using this probably for a couple years. It's thicker. I think this is kind of a dupe for the fancier ones. Maybe the Tarte like Shape Tape. Never tried it, but I think I've seen people refer to this as a dupe. I usually just put a little bit in the corners of my eyes. If I had a pimple or blemish or something, I may add a little bit more somewhere else. Going back to my mini beauty sponge, just gonna dab this in the corners and under my eyes, maybe carry it a little bit up onto my eyelid. Does anyone else make crazy faces while they're doing their makeup? Not really sure why, but I find myself an open mouth a lot, especially putting on mascara, and apparently while I'm also doing my concealer. Alright, that's pretty good. And then my last liquid product is going to be blush. This is another e.l.f. product. This is the Halo Glow Beauty Wand Blush. This is shade Pink Me Up. I like a pink blush. Gonna use that same brush again that I used for my bronzer, and I think you're supposed to use this sponge applicator and put it directly onto your face. I like to control it a little bit more by putting some on the brush and then dabbing it on my cheeks. I've seen the trend right now is to bring your blush a lot higher up under your eyes. This brush is kind of big and fluffy, so it doesn't give me a lot of direct application, so I probably was already kind of bringing it up under my eyes with this. I'm not too light with this, since I am going to be covering everything up with powder, so it doesn't have to be perfect, and it can be pretty bright pink. Maybe a dab of excess on the nose. And then I just like to make sure there's not like a sharp line around my eye. And that's that. So that is the end of all of my cream liquid products. Next, I'm going to use a setting spray on top of this layer. This setting spray was actually a gift from my husband. This is a Harry Potter setting spray. They did a line of Harry Potter products at Walmart, so Johnny bought me some of them for Christmas. It's the Time Turner Illuminating Setting Spray. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's got a bunch of like glitter in it. So it's a glittery setting spray. There's no color or anything or shade. But you can see it has like a bunch of glitter stuck to the bottom of the container, so I usually give it a good shake before putting it on. I'm gonna have to buy a new setting spray soon. I don't have a ton left. But I'm not shy about how much of this I put on. Spray it all over my face and then give it a little bit to dry. Before this, I think I've used probably an e.l.f. setting spray. I think I might have tried one of the more viral setting sprays. I haven't tried the L'Oreal one that's in like the red bottle, but I have heard good things about that one, and I know it's not super expensive. That might be my next purchase. I do have a gift card for Sephora that's still left from Christmas, so maybe I'll take you guys along with me to go shopping. Pick out a few products from there to maybe try some new stuff. But next we're going to move on to my powder products. I know a lot of the younger girls do not use a lot of makeup or a lot of powder products. I personally like a matte finish. I think my skin is regular to oily, I would say. It's not dry. So I do usually get slightly oily in my T-zone throughout the day. So I do like to use powder products to help with that. So first, going to use another Maybelline Fit Me product. This is the Matte Poreless Powder in a little compact. Shade 120, Classic Ivory. Apparently that's my color. I don't have a lot of this product left, so probably we'll have to get another one or maybe try a new powder. I've used a few different ones over the years. I think I used to use the CoverGirl version of this. So yeah, I use a flat brush that's also from the Beaky brush packet that I got from Amazon. And I'm just going to dab this all over on top of my powder products to hopefully, on top of my liquid products to hopefully set these guys in and hold them in place all day. Again, I do this everywhere. I know not everyone does it on their eyes and under eyes, but I do. It's just what works for me. Also, I know some people do their makeup in a different order. Some people do their eye makeup first and then go back and do their face makeup. I have just always done my face makeup first. I don't do super heavy eye makeup, so I don't normally have a problem with it like falling or transferring to my under eyes or onto my skin. So I have just always done it in this order. Again, make sure to bring it down onto your neck to try to avoid any awkward lines. This usually helps even out if there's too much bronzer on, or if it looks too orangey or dark on my skin, especially if I have no tan at all. We are heading into the summer months. It's May right now, So here and there I may get spray tan or do an at-home tan. I need to try something new at home though. The only ones I've ever done at home are the Isle of Paradise like clear tanning drops that you add to like your lotion and moisturizer. I did that a few weeks ago. It was okay. It gave me a decent glow. I did it before we did our Mother's Day photo shoot, so if you watched that vlog, it may look like I have a little bit more of a bronzy glow to me. I did it 2 nights. I don't think I did it back-to-back nights. I think I did one layer and then a night and then another layer. This is the one that I used, the Isle of Paradise self-tanning. These are the medium drops for your face and your body, and you just mix them in your hand and rub it all over. Hopefully I just didn't get some on me. I ended up with very orange hands, and I could not figure out how to fix it. The first time I did it, I washed my hands too vigorously after application, and my hands were totally white, and I had like a line around my wrist, and the rest of my body looked orange next to my white hands. The second time I did it, I washed my hands a little less intensely, and then I ended up with really intense like orange marks around like the inside of my fingers and like, you know, where my skin was a little bit drier, I guess. So then my hands looked bad. So both ways were not great. So I don't know, let me know if you guys self-tan at home, what you use. The reason I really love those drops is because they're clear and they don't transfer onto your clothes, your bedding, anything like that. I usually do it at night. I'll take a shower, exfoliate or shave, and then do it before I go to bed. And then when I wake up in the morning, I rinse off, and that usually does not transfer onto anything, which I love. So if you have something else that's going to give me a better tan, also it looked terrible when it started to fade. It started looking all patchy and weird, so. Next I'm going to do some powder bronzer. This is the Physicians Formula. I tried this a couple years ago. This one bronzer will last you forever. I don't know, I might have repurchased it once at most. If not, this one bronzer has probably lasted me a year at least, maybe longer, I don't know. This is their Butter Bronzer in shade Deep Bronzer. I don't know if that's the shade or not, but anyways, I've just barely started like scratching the bottom of this after a very long time, but anyways, so this is a newer brush. This is it says Angled Complexion Brush by Eco Tools. I think I also bought this pack on Amazon. Some of my beaky ones started to fall apart, so these are more recent. This is like an angled fluffy brush. So this is what I use for my bronzer. I just dab it in here, and I'm going to do like the hollows of my cheek, basically where I put the liquid bronzer already earlier. Also, again, a very wide fluffy brush, so it's not super precise application. But pretty much everywhere I put the liquid bronzer earlier, I'm going to go back over with this. So along my hairline, a little on the nose, and sometimes I'll bring a little bit down to the jawline. Just kind of whatever's left on the brush. And that's usually it. Alright, next I am going to do the e.l.f. HD powder. This is in Soft Luminance, is the color. This, I guess, to some people is like a setting powder. This one is kind of a tannish color. I've also used their white powder, same product. but I saw they had kind of a tan one, so I figured maybe this wouldn't stand out as much. I think they also have one that's a little bit more pink, depending on like what color base you're looking for, undertone coverage. I do this a few different ways, just depending on my mood of the day. Sometimes I will use just a fluffy brush and apply this in the areas that, like I mentioned earlier, I get a little bit oily. Or sometimes I will use a flat, like, puff and apply this more directly, like, under my eyes and maybe help with, like, the contour. I haven't done this recently. I don't know if it's laziness or if it's just not caring as much, I don't know, but sometimes I do that. Today I'm just going to use the fluffy brush, so I'm going to apply some to my chin and underneath my chin. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but your girl gets a double chin sometimes when I laugh or look down or make an animated face, so I tend to get a line here underneath my chin, a crease from my makeup. Hopefully that's relatable to somebody out there. So I try to help avoid that when I can with a little bit of setting powder. Gonna take it and go under my eyes and around my nose. I definitely get oily around my nose. And some on the forehead. And then, like I said, oops, straight here. Sometimes I will also do some more like contouring on my cheeks. I'm just gonna take whatever's left in the lid, just kind of apply it. I don't know how much that does, but that's the step I do in. So next I actually jump to eyeshadow. I only have a few different eyeshadow palettes. This is what I typically use on a daily basis. I usually hyperfixate on one of them and use them for a while and then switch to a different one. This is an Estee Lauder one that came in a like gift pack that my husband got me for Christmas. Yes, my husband buys me makeup. He usually does a good job at it, so I trust him. This has, it's the limited edition Trick of the Eyes eyeshadow palette, so no idea if this is still available or not. I think he probably bought this gift set at like Belk or Dillard's or something in the mall. These are the colors that we're working with. It's a very like neutral, brown, champagne-y color palette. I don't usually use all the colors every day, but we will use, let's see, a few different eyeshadow brushes that I like. Also just from like Amazon packs or Walmart. No clue what brand this is. Let's see. Domed eyeshadow brush. It's a purple one. It's got the letters RT on it and 314. I don't think I have any other brushes left from this pack, so I probably just bought them because they're purple, and that's my favorite color, if I'm being honest, so, or they might have been a gift. So I'm going to go in first with this shade, which is Secret Powers, and do it all over the lid, on both eyes. This is going to be like an everyday makeup look, so it's not going to be super heavy or super smoky. Then I just sometimes switch it up every day. Who knows what color. I'm going to use this middle shade, kind of a pinkier look. I believe that one is, actually I don't know. I can't tell. They only have 6 colors listed on the back, but there's 7 shades, so I don't know if I'm an idiot or what, but anyways, so I'm gonna use that color. Do it a little more on the crease. And then usually I take the very dark brown color on the end, and I'm going to do that on the corners of the crease to get a little bit of like a brown smoky look, I guess. Sometimes I go back and do a little more, try to even them out some. I don't do the tape on the corners or anything like that. I could get a much more defined look if I tried, I'm sure, but this is just what I do every day. Maybe I'll try that for like another video and do like a going out eye or something. Lastly, I just use this lighter, like champagne looking shade along the eyebrows. Try to like kind of blend in all those shades together. And that's usually all I do for eyeshadow. Hopefully they look somewhat even. This one looks a little bit darker, so we're going to add a little bit more brown on this side. Even it out a little bit. Alright, I'm going to stop messing with it, because the more I mess with it, the worse it's going to look. And then I usually just go back with the same brush, the fluffy beaky brush that I used for my e.l.f. powder, and just kind of go over everything once, get any of the excess powder off, any of the excess eyeshadow. And then next, we're going to do eyeliner. I don't do eyeliner every day. I do it here and there. I used to be a black eyeliner girly, but for some reason I decided to try out brown recently because I know that's supposed to look good with blue eyes. As you can see, your girl's got blue eyes. So I've been using this Revlon Color Stay eyeliner crayon contour. It is in the shade 203, which is just brown. This is what it looks like. It has the eyeliner on one side and a little sharpener and applicator brush on the other side. I don't really use the little sponge brush on the one side. But I usually just go in, start on the outer corner of my eyelid. Some days I'll do this heavier than others. Sometimes I go all the way across my eyelid. Sometimes I just go part of the way. I don't know. I just kind of do what I'm feeling that day. If I'm in a hurry, I'll skip eyeliner altogether. Or if I'm just feeling a lighter makeup look, I'll just do mascara. So try to make them not a super harsh ending. Try to make that blend a little bit. Doesn't always work perfectly. I try to somewhat even them out, but honestly, to me, eyeliner's kind of like your eyebrows. They're supposed to be cousins or sisters, not twins. So, next, I'm going to just curl my eyelashes. This is a very basic, probably $2 eyelash curler that who knows what drugstore I got this from. Walmart, CVS, I don't know, not a clue. I'm just going to curl my top lashes. Y'all may be thinking, this is a long video for your everyday makeup. I definitely do this quicker when I'm not talking through it, so I can usually do this in about 20 minutes probably, I would say. So I'm dragging this out slightly, so I'll try to hurry it up here. Don't have too many steps left. Next, I'm going to do some primer mascara. This is Maybelline New York, the Lash Sensational Sky High. Sky High mascara. I buy it in the 2-pack bundle that comes with the primer in the white tube and the regular mascara in the like pink tube. So I'm just gonna do a primer layer first, base coat if you will. I guess when I'm talking I don't make as crazy of faces as I usually do, but this is normally where I'd be making the open-mouthed, weird mascara look. Okay, so I do a quick coat of that, let it dry for a few seconds, so in the meantime I'm going to put blush on. This is a Revlon blush in the shade 014 Tickled Pink. This is also a product I believe that Johnny bought for me. This is one of the Eco Tools. It says soft powder is what I'm supposed to be using this for, I guess. Big fluffy brush. I just dab it straight onto there, and I don't tap it off because I like blush, so I'm not trying to get rid of excess product. I use that product straight on my face. A little on the nose, sometimes a little extra on the forehead. I think blush really brings it all together. And then I'm gonna go back and do my second step of mascara. By the way, this is Blackest Black. I like the very dark mascara. Sometimes I can't find the Blackest Black in the combo pack with the primer, so sometimes I just have to get the regular, like, black. But I don't really know that there's a difference. Probably just another way to get us to spend money, honestly. Honestly, I don't know if the primer does anything, but I started doing that a few years ago when this brand went viral, and I've just never gone back. Okay, and last but not least, I just started using highlighter again. I don't know, I was shopping one day and saw it. This is an e.l.f. highlighter, Soft Pearl Era, in the Halo Glow Silky Powder Highlighter. I didn't use highlighter for a while. I know we used to. That was popular like a while back. But I just use another big fluffy brush from my Beaky brushes, and I just apply it on my cheekbones, maybe a little here and there on like the eyes or the nose. And that's it. That is it for makeup. So, next I'm going to try to figure out what to do with this hair. I should have plugged this in already while I was getting my makeup done. That's what I usually do. So, give me a second. Okay, it's plugged in. Gonna let this heat up for a minute. I just chopped my hair off probably about 2 months ago. I used to have very long hair. My hair is thick. I do get it dyed. I get it colored. Been going to the same girl for a few years, probably since I moved to Charlotte. Right now I'm just getting ready to use a Remington, like regular, I think it's a 1-inch curling iron, maybe a 1.5 inch. I've had this for forever, probably bought it at Walmart or Target years ago. I'm still kind of figuring out how I like to style this short hair, so I haven't completely figured it out yet. Johnny bought me a Dyson hair tool for Christmas a couple years ago, and the thing is amazing. It's expensive, but in my opinion it's worth it. I use it all the time. If I had to pick only one hair tool, that's what I would use. But before I cut my hair, it was harder to use because my hair was so long and so heavy that it didn't always hold my curl very well. So a lot of times I was using just the hair dryer part of it, which is still great. But now that I've cut my hair, I can also use the round brush attachment easier. Because when I used to use the round brush with long hair, it really just like pulled it straight. It didn't really give it any curl or volume because I was having to pull on it. Maybe I wasn't doing it right, I don't know. But now that's what I usually use on day 1 when I freshly wash my hair. This is like day 5 hair, so it's definitely looking a little greasy. I think I've put dry shampoo in it twice this week. Sometimes I'll do a little bit when it's freshly washed. I've heard differing things over the years. I've heard some people say that if you put dry shampoo in when your hair's clean, it helps like absorb the oils. Daffy Duck for you. So sometimes I'll do it when it's clean. Other times I'll wait till day like 2 or 3 to put it in. This week I think I put a little bit in on day 1, which was Wednesday, I believe. Today is Saturday. So I did a blowout. I usually just touch it up on day like 2 and 3 with the round brush. And then yesterday I used this same hair tool and put a little bit of curl in it, so now I'm just adding a little bit back in. It was rainy yesterday and humid, so my curls fell pretty quickly. Looked kind of poofy. Usually when I blow dry it, I've started putting in a little bit of mousse and like root lifting spray, so it does have some product in it to hopefully help hold style. I didn't used to use that when my hair was long. I don't know why, but it didn't really seem to do anything, so it kind of felt like a waste to put all this extra product on my hair. So this is kind of how I do short hair. The bottom layer is pretty short, so sometimes it's hard to get all the pieces, but I try to do a little bit just so it doesn't look super straight underneath. I'm used to separating my hair into layers because I have a lot of it and because it's thick. So I usually do that, even though I probably don't have to with short hair, but sorry. Seems to make it easier for me to manage. So I'm just kind of going around and adding curls away from my face. I usually leave the end of the hair out, maybe an inch or so, and just hold it for maybe 20-30 seconds. I usually focus a little harder on the top layer of my hair, of course. That's what people can see the most of. And like a lot of people say, back of my head is none of my business, so not really sure how bad the back looks, especially on day 5 once I've been sleeping on it. Sometimes it gets some weird little cowlicks in the back there, but it's fine. Debating if I want to go back and chop off a little bit more. My hair grows pretty quickly, so it's already, 2 months after getting my hair cut, it's already grown a significant amount. I couldn't put it in any sort of ponytail or anything after I first got it cut, and it's definitely gotten long enough for me to do that. It's a little tiny baby ponytail, but still, I can tell it's gotten longer. I cannot get this frog out of my throat this morning. So I don't know. I might go back and get it trimmed. I usually only get my hair done like twice a year. I am very low maintenance, and being a blonde is expensive. So I usually only do it before like a special occasion. I did it last year before my baby shower. And then once in the fall after I was finishing up maternity leave before I went back to work. And then I just got it done again in maybe March. So I usually go around 6 months between getting it colored, but she mentioned last time that I could always come back and just do a trim if it starts to get long. Sometimes these back pieces are looking a little weird and like sticking out on my like collar of my clothes or like on my shoulders, so I may go back and get a little touch up. Alright, bear with me. I only have a few strands left. Maybe we'll speed up this process here. Fast forward a little bit for you. Not super concerned about getting every single piece since it already has some day 2 curl and texture to it. I did put some texture spray in it yesterday after I curled it. And it's supposed to be raining all day again today, so it looks kind of cloudy right now. I don't think it's raining currently, but I know it's going to, so this is probably going to be day 2 of a fruitless venture. Curling my hair, but gotta do something with it. So one bad thing about short hair is it's harder to do like a slick back bun look when normally I would do that with long hair when it gets greasy. On like day 5 I'd probably be wearing a slick back bun today with long hair. But that's kind of hard to do when I have like the tiniest little baby bun. It looks kind of weird, at least in my opinion. I've only done it like once or twice, and it's not my favorite look. Okay, that's it for curls. I'm going to let these cool off some. Usually I wait until I go get dressed, and then I will run my fingers through everything. I'm going to go ahead and do that now so that you guys don't have to wait on me to finish getting ready. Maybe we'll do a different day with a get dressed with me, take you on a little closet tour. We did a renovation on our own at home, so we can go over that process with you. And yeah, that is pretty much it. May or may not end up doing like a little half updo with this or put a little clip in or something, but this is pretty much it. Way quicker process with short hair, which is nice. So I am ready. Gonna go get dressed for work, throw on some earrings and jewelry. I don't like to wear anything when I'm putting on makeup because I don't like it getting on my rings and stuff. On a day-to-day basis, I will probably just wear some chapstick, maybe lipstick here and there for bigger days, but on a normal basis I don't wear it every day, so I'll clean off any excess makeup that's left on there and throw on some chapstick, usually in the car on my way to work when I'm running late, and that's it. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know this was a little bit of a long chatty video, but if you guys liked it, leave a comment. Maybe we'll do this again for a different day or a different type of event or style of makeup, bring you along to Sephora, spend some money with me, maybe try some new products. But yeah, let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see, and hopefully in the next video we'll do another vlog with the whole fam. I know we've got a beach trip coming up in a few weeks. We're definitely going to bring you guys along for that. Yeah, let us know anything else you'd like to see. Thank you guys. This has been Meant to Be, and I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday and a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.